Hey guys, it's Rush. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This video today, I'm going to demonstrate some of my favorites, combos, techniques, situations. I don't know what you'd call them, but these sorts of things with Street Fighter V Ken. So the reason I'm doing this video is because people have asked me to compare Street Fighter V Ken, Street Fighter 6 and do some videos on Street Fighter V Ken. And I've thought about ways of doing it, and I think this is the best way to do it. The reason this is the best way to do it, in my opinion, is because it demonstrates some of the more advanced techniques I use with this character in Street Fighter V that I use in matches, and it really demonstrates some of the hype sequences, some of the juggles that you got with this character that you don't really see in Street Fighter 6. So the first sequence is an anti-air, but you cancel it into V-trigger. With that, you get some crazy juggles. This next route I'm going to show you is a V-Trigger 1 specific stand heavy kick crush counter. It requires 2 bars of EX and it utilises Ken's run out of his fireball. There's a lot of situational things there that you need to be aware of, and it has to be spaced at a certain spacing, but it's mad damage and it looks really cool. So not many people knew this, but in V-Trigger 1 mid-screen you could get a 1 EX bar spend, but it's very specific from a crouching medium kick or a stand medium punch. You have to be spaced perfectly for this to work, but you will cancel this into like a Tatsu. The Tatsu will hit once, but it will link into or juggle into EXDP. But it's very specific spacing. You very rarely saw that mid-screen. So something interesting about Ken in this game is his EX fireball on hit is +3, and in the corner it keeps you close enough to link it into Ken's 3-frame Tatsu and even his 3-frame light punch DP. So you could use strings like stand medium punch into EX fireball and get a full combo conversion. This was a specific counter extreme that kept you close enough to get the light kick Tatsu follow up. And you can extend it with V-Trigger, of course. So Ken's EX Fireball in the corner actually changes the properties, so it doesn't actually keep them grounded now. So whereas +3 with the regular EX Fireball, now in V-Trigger 1 it causes a juggle state, and you will get DP juggles from the Fireball, which is already really cool. But this situation is a very specific stun situation where you can link the EX Fireball into like a Tatsu and then get a DP juggle. You wouldn't really do this for damage, but it was a sort of flex or a stylish combo you could do. You'd never get it in a match, it'd be so difficult, but it was possible to do with the opponent stunned. Very, very specific spacing needed for that. This is another V-Trigger 1 EX Fireball conversion. Very, very cool. It's a hit confirm from about this range. So you throw the EX Fireball, if you see them get hit, you do EX Tatsu, it connects from that range. So you may not know this, but Ken has a dive kick in Street Fighter V. His air EX Tatsu brings him forward, downwards, it changes his jump arc, and it actually causes juggles. Ken's kick target combo in this game is very different. It is 2 kicks, but you actually can cancel the 2 kicks into his step kick, and you can cancel it into special moves as well, which is very different to Street Fighter 6. What was very cool about this is the juggle height was different at different spaces. You can see if I'm close and go into medium Tatsu, Ryu sort of juggles a bit low to the ground when compared to this sort of range. At that range you can get a CA and an EXDP. It's very specific spacing that allows for those combos. This also applies to his chin buster target combo. It's a very slight delay you need to add to get the Tatsu to juggle them higher, but you can get EXDP in that situation. It's optimal, but it's very specific spacing. So this one is an interesting change. So if Ken's heavy punch DP hits once, if you have enough juggle time you can follow up with a second heavy punch DP. It's a really unusual change they added to Ken, but it became quite an important part of his play if you were using heavy punch DP for anti-airs. You'd mainly see it against people with floaty jumps, but if you do anti-air early with heavy punch DP and it hits once, it's pretty much always guaranteed. and you can do the V-Trigger 1 follow-up there. So that was actually 3 heavy punch DPs in a row. This next point, Ken is known for being pretty strong in most games that he's in. Street Fighter 5 is no exception. One of the main reasons for that is because of his heavy punch DP. His heavy punch DP in this game is 4-frame startup, and it covers so much range. Ken's CA in this game, it's a 5-frame startup move and it has lots of range. Invincibility frames as well. And his EXDP, particularly in V-Trigger 1, it's 4-frame startup but it has massive range. I think in Street Fighter 5, his EXDP has the most range for a 4-frame startup move. So these moves, because of their fast startup and their invincibility frames, be very good for doing things like punishing, going through fireballs as you saw there. Let's do the EXDP to go through Ryu's fireball. Look at the range on that, absolutely insane. And his CA in a similar fashion, you can see I can be quite far from Ryu and still get punish. But not only that, Ken's crouch medium punch is naturally +5 on hit. So at particular ranges, you could link it into heavy punch DP. That was a combo there. To show you the range on the EXDP, I will do a max range crouch medium punch and it should link into EXDP for a combo. At max range it will link into CA also. Ken's V-Trigger 2 is Shinryukin. Shinryukin had 3 different levels, so the initial level when you activate, you can go to multiple levels, but you get 6 hits for the level 1. For level 2 you get 12 hits, and for level 3 in Shinryukin you get 16 hits, and you get different juggles out of each different version. Here's a sample combo with level 3 that does massive damage. And last but by no means least, Chun-Li and Rashid are considered wider body characters. I'm not sure particularly why. I guess with Chun-Li it kinda makes sense, but with Rashid I don't know why. But anyway, when you're in V-Trigger 1, if you went for a combo that involved run after a hit, so for example if I do crouch and medium punch, counter it, that combos into crouch heavy punch and allows you to get a run. That's a bread and butter sort of route with Ken mid-screen. But with these characters, you don't need to do a second DP using EXDP like this. That's generally what we would do. With Rashid and Chun-Li, you can actually do run light punch DP and get a heavy DP, and not many people knew about that. And what's even more cool about this, that will even cancel into CA, the heavy punch DP. It has to be 2 hits, but it will cancel. Very rarely saw that, but again, very, very cool. So that is the video, guys. I'm only scratching the surface with some of the juggles and the very situational things you'd see with Ken. There's so much deeper tech to be had with this character in this game. I hope you enjoyed the video. It gives you a little insight into what Street Fighter 5 Ken was like. Any questions, any queries, always give me a shout, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.